me see. See here. All right, my mic is working. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. The stream crashed again. When I get too deep, when I start exposing too much, these streaming devices just crash on me. Or maybe she started reporting my stream. I don't know. But yes. So this was one of the big trolls, one of the big trolls that were on my page when I made the post about us blacks from America not being African. Okay? And that statement is true, in many different ways. Even if you believe or know that you were brought here let's say in the 1800s or the 1700s or whatever. You've been here. You've been here for 300 years. Like you're technically not African anymore. You don't see a Jamaican calling themselves African Jamaican or African Haitian. I'm African Haitian. But we call ourselves African American here. And that's the most retarded thing ever. And that's another reason why these rednecks be laughing at us and be calling us N-words. Because we do N-word shit. And we do ignorant ass, dumb ass shit. Now, the term African American, we should throw that shit away. Bury it. Find a new term for ourselves. Go back to calling ourselves Afro-American. African-American, it's the dumbest term ever. Okay? Now, let's go back. Okay, so the transatlantic slave trade has been broken down in many different ways on how it is, it was a hoax. It's all bullshit. Okay? We were enslaved, yes, but the way we were enslaved, the way they tell us we were enslaved, is not the truth. Okay? Nobody went. No white men went to the jungles of West Africa and negotiated with anybody. Okay? For one, it takes a few months, maybe years, to learn a language, and there are many different. Like y'all love to say, there are many different cultures and languages in Africa. Okay? So those white people the slave drivers will have to learn their language for one, and then come with stuff that these African kings and queens would even be interested in to trade humans for. Okay, so they would have to study their cultures and know what these kings and queens would want, in trading, because they want African cargo so bad, they would have to, for one. Okay, so there's the language thing. So you gotta learn the language to talk, to even speak to these people, or like, come on, people. And even with, they finally get, okay, a group to agree to sell some of their African, or some of the prisoners or whatever. They finally get a group to do that. Come on, they had to train these Africans on how to speak the English language. And then when they finally got here, they would have to train these Africans how to farm the land here, to farm on this land, because America and Africa are very different. Okay? The fruits and vegetables that grow here cannot grow there. And probably vice versa with some of the stuff over there. Okay? It's very different. Okay? So, there's the language barrier thing. Like, so on these ships, were they like giving these slaves English classes? And what would make these Africans want to even sit down to learn from these people? Like, they are being taken against their will. They are being taken against their will to a foreign place. not knowing what's going to happen to them. You think they're really okay? So, and then there's some of y'all who are delusional enough to say, "Oh, these people were beaten into submission every day until they got to the shores of America. This happened for 3-4 months at a time. Why are you denying this, sister? Why are you denying your history, sister?" That's all I hear from you fucking retards. I'm not denying any. I'm denying it because, hello, I mean, you, I'm reading it. I'm reading this information. It's just not making sense. Okay. I'm sorry. You're too vaxxed up and have too much fluoride in you to where you can't see things the way I see it. But, I mean, a lot of y'all just don't ask questions, and that's just it, okay? You read it, you're like, oh, okay, okay, well, that makes sense. And you just keep reading, you just suck it in, and that, in America, that is what intelligence is. Someone who's able to suck in as much knowledge as possible, remember it, and regurgitate. Now that's considered intelligence in America. Not someone who read this information, analyze it, think, and then, have come with questions to fully understand the information that's given. Okay? I ask questions to fully understand. And because, I mean, hello, like, a lot of the stuff not adding up. Like, I'm living in reality here. A lot of y'all are not living in reality because y'all are, you have a biblical mind, okay? There's a lot of y'all who have a biblical mind that keep you childlike to where you can't, or you don't ask questions, or you can't ask questions because you're not a critical thinker. Okay? So, yeah. Transatlantic trade, the transatlantic slave trade or middle passage has been debunked, and it can be broken down like many different ways. But yeah, the reason why I'm on this person's page is because they were one of the main trolls on my page about us not being African. Like, just because a group of people have brown skin, coarse curly hair, does not make them African, okay? FYI, all indigenous people looked like this. Looked like me. And, what you would call Africans and Australia, the indigenous Australians. They're all people looks like us, okay? About couple hundred, maybe even 1,000 years ago, on all these different lands, okay? And it has nothing to do with Africa. I believe our people were seeded on our lands by our Creator, okay? And yes, I believe we were created by something or someone, okay? I believe that more than Big Bang, accidental the accidental creation of us by Big Bang and all that, okay? And evolution. I am not a follower of evolution. I do not care for evolution. Y'all can shove that up your fucking ass. Straight up your ass. Shove evolution up your ass and shove out of Africa up your ass. Okay? That's what y'all need to do. Shove it deep up your ass and leave me the hell alone with that shit. Okay? Now, we know that these people who are in control had the power and the money, resources to relocate groups of people. Like, they did this 200 years ago. They had the money and resources to do that in the 1800s. Now, 1600s, they did not have the ships. Or they did not use the type of cargo ships or the ships, to move hundreds of bodies, humans, okay, from a continent thousands of miles or hundreds of thousands of miles away. You know, they did not have the ships that broke free from the ocean currents. Okay, the Atlantic Ocean has a current that, you know. Hold on, let me show you this ocean current again, because motherfuckers are y'all just. I know with y'all childlike minds, y'all fail to do research like this. Okay, you just don't want to. It's too hard, too lazy. You're too hard. It's too hard. You're too lazy, and you just don't want to do it. Now, on this map right here, it shows that there is, within this triangle, if you try to cut into this triangle right here, there's another current that you will be sucked into, and you'll be like going in circles here. You will not be able to break free from this. You will eventually become lost at sea doing this shit, or, you know, whatever. But you can clearly see that from the coast, leaving the coast of Florida or the Carolina coast, any ship of that time leaving, you know, following the current, it will take them up here, all the way up north, you see, to either this is Greenland, right? I know Greenland, Iceland. I sometimes get them mixed up sometimes, but okay. So you see they're going on. It takes you all the way up here. If you can't break free, you'll be all up in fucking Europe in you'll be all up here somewhere if you don't break free in time. And then there's this current, the Canaries current, Canaris current. And this one is it's clearer and bigger. I'll click into that one. See if okay. Okay, so in some maps, it shows that this current stops here or something where Morocco is or whatever. But okay, here it says it does go down all the way to at least Ghana or Guinea, not Ghana. Is that Guinea? Whatever. Okay, so right here. So they could have been making stops in Morocco. Come on, like, you know, and stuff right here. But see right here, when we get here, there's another current. And that will send them back on up here. But you see this loop-de-loop you have to do. It takes this will take about 4 months with the type of ships they have. And cutting in here, there's a whole nother little current system right in here. Like, if you get in here, if a ship ever were able to break free into that, they were probably lost at sea. Or it probably took them like longer to get out of this. Like, dude, obviously you see, like, I don't know, probably in these books in school they show like a back and forth thing straight across, but ocean currents today, like, and you know, the maps showing the currents of the past, which nothing has changed really. It shows that, you know, shit like that was literally impossible. Like, those ships followed the ocean current to get them places, and following the ocean current, it would taken like literally forever to get from America to Africa and so forth. Now, the current system down here to South America, I do believe that most of the slaves were just dropped off here because, hello, like, from picking them up to going here, like, that's less than like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. But if they were just following the current on up, just to get to Florida, that will take about 3-4 months, bro. Like, unless they, like, you know, took a stop here to feed the slaves, and like, even come on, let's get together. Let's get together. Let's think about this together, people. Okay. Like, how much food did they store in these ships for the 200-300 slaves that they were stealing or bringing here, like on these ships? They would have to have enough food for them to survive the 4-month voyage. Then, you know, the ocean is salt water. It's not fresh water. Like, yes, you can tell a child any fucking thing because they ain't gonna ask questions like this. They don't know really the sea, the ocean is salt water. A lot of them don't. Like a average third grader just coming out telling them this bullshit here. They ain't gonna question shit. Okay? You're telling children this bullshit. They ain't gonna question it. Okay? So you're on the ocean. You're sailing the ocean. It's nothing. You're surrounded by salt water. Okay? Like, how much food? Okay, so they want us to believe that these guys were just fishing. They were fishing for they were fishing for the slaves, huh? The slavers. Okay, so they were catching enough fish daily to feed all the slaves at the bottom of the. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so what system were they using to get them clean water? Were they just collecting the water from the storms that occurred, or was there a way they were filtering out or the salt water or something? Like, what were they doing about that? Did they have barrels of fresh river water on board, prepared for these 200, 300 slaves at the bottom? Like, come on. And then, like, where were these slaves pooping and peeing at? Okay, you can find articles saying that, oh, they would take slaves down to the poop deck, all the way at the bottom of the ship. Okay, yeah, they were taking slaves to the poop deck. So there was there a guy just sitting down with the slave area, just waiting, just sitting, watching over the slaves, just, you know, and if you had to pee, the slave would be like, I gotta pee, or something like that. Did they know, like, what word to say when they had to pee? Like, were they given, you know what I'm talking about, like the language barriers here? Like, you know, come on. Like, for one, these Africans would have to want to know how to speak English. They would want to. They would blah, I'm having a brain fart. But these Africans would have to want to know how to speak English. You know, they would have to be interested in it. You can't force someone to learn your language. Okay? So that's another thing. There was language barriers here. So we got whites. We got these English white men coming out of nowhere, taking these Africans. You could say it was you know, organized. They had deals with African kings and queens. Okay, so yes, okay. I guess the slave drivers, they learned the language of some of these ancient African kingdoms or something, because, you know, there were tribes, there were different tribes that spoke different languages. Like, y'all like to say there's so many different African cultures, different languages. These slave drivers would have to learn their language, or vice versa. The kings and queens would have to know our language. There was a language fucking barrier. Okay, so how were these slave drivers signaled, you know, by the Africans when they had to pee, to go down to the fucking poop deck to release? Okay, like, so many questions, so many holes in these stories that we're given. But we're just supposed to go along with it. And you're not intelligent unless you just go along with it, suck it up, suck it all in your mind, and just believe it and regurgitate it. Okay, you're not intelligent unless you believe it, suck it up, memorize, and regurgitate it with, fancy, large words, you know what I'm saying. We talk to these boule motherfuckers every day. We know how they talk. They try to sound so intelligent and all that. Whatever. Okay? They regurgitate the stuff they are taught in these fucking Ivy League schools or these HBCUs. They regurgitate everything they're taught. And they reword it in their own words. Make it sound fancy. That's what they do. Okay? But I mean, we got so many questions here. So many unanswered questions. And we're just supposed to go along with the story that people from here were stolen and sent across the Atlantic to then be dropped off and, from there start working. They start working a land that they're not familiar with. I mean, these people would have to be trained to farm. They would have had to been trained to farm this land here because our land is not the same. We don't have the same type of agriculture. We don't have the same type of fucking land, okay? You can't grow some of the fruits and vegetables that we grow here. You can't grow it there in Africa, okay? Their land is so different from ours, okay? So these slaves would have had to been trained to do that, and these Africans would have had to been trained to clean in these plantation homes, like, because they were living differently over there, so they would have had to been trained to do these things. So you bring these slaves home, and they don't know what to do, and they're constantly wanting to fucking run off somewhere, back to the fucking ocean or something and figure something out. You got these slaves here that don't know what the fuck to do, and all they're thinking about is, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home. So you really think the white man gonna sit here? Okay, he's that desperate to have someone serving them, so they're just gonna continuously beat these Africans into submission. So we don't know how long that shit gonna take. Some of them probably never submitted. Okay, this seemed like a huge waste of time here. There's already dark-skinned people here. Why would they need to do all this? And I even had this thought, being taught this as a 4th grader. Even the little pictures of the Mongoloid, Indians they showed us. I'm like, why would y'all go all the way over here when you could just use the people that's already here? Why would they go through all this and then have the language barriers and then all this? Like, why? Like, y'all are so stupid out here, for real. Like, but back on topic. Alright, so this is one of the trolls here, and you can clearly see that they are confused about everything, even their sexuality, but they want to tell motherfuckers where they're from. Oh, the Hablo group in Africa. Motherfuckers, if you don't get on, like, it is proven that this is shit. These tests, these DNA tests are scams, okay? Now, this is not the only article on this topic, okay? There's multiple articles. There were identical twin sisters that took this fucking DNA test here to figure out where they're from, and they both got different results. Identical twins, people. Identical fucking twins, not fraternal twins. Identical twins took a DNA test and got different results. Okay, from the same company. Okay, so If that can happen, you know this shit is some bullshit. They cannot test 0.01% of your DNA and get anything really from that. Honestly. And that's the real truth. And y'all just been wasting your money and then willingly giving these people a sample of your DNA to do God knows what with your fucking DNA. And that's what y'all been doing. Because Negroes don't question shit. Negroes just go with the flow. Okay? And that's why they say we got the lowest IQs out here. Okay? And why can't the truth, you need to stop hopping on my fucking videos asking me when I'm going to debate you. I don't debate retards that follow boule fucking people. Okay? So, stop asking me. Because I'm not going to do it. Okay? You are a brainwashed bot. And we're just going to leave it at that. You have your echo chamber over there. And I'm going to do my thing over here. Okay? So. But yes, this confused person here is going to sit here and try to tell motherfuckers where they're from. I don't even know if this is a woman with a beard or a man with some hanging down, whatever that is. Is that titties or whatever? But obviously this motherfucker's confused about their life and sexuality. Why are you gonna let them tell you where the fuck you're from? And tell you, wow, okay, we're gonna compare pictures. We're gonna compare pictures of people. Wow, okay, yeah. We know there's some West Africans that look like us because we know the fucking history of Liberia. Okay? Some of us know the fucking history of Liberia. FYI, millions of us were taken there in the 1800s. 1847, millions of American blacks were taken to that part of Africa. Okay? And some blended in, some didn't. So that's why a lot of them still look like us today. Okay? And that's just the truth of that. That's just that. Okay? Now, you can go do the research on Liberia yourself. Read the history on Liberia. We were taken there. There was no Africans taken from here. Taken from there in the 1600s. But there definitely was American blacks taken from here in the 1847. Okay, they had the ships to do it then, and it is documented that this happened. Okay, so let's build from that. Okay, you're not woke or enlightened or any type of intelligent if you still believe mainstream history, mainstream science, and the mainstream news. Okay? You are a special type of retarded. Okay? So, I'm just going to end this stream there. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people are not going to take in this message, you know. I'm blunt with my delivery. Okay? I don't like the sugarcoat shit, and I'm like really tired. I am really tired because we are letting the government like literally fucking kill us right now. Okay? And I really have to do something about this because I have 2 children. So that's why I am passionate, because I want to change this reality for my children. And I don't want my children fed lies, okay? So that's why I don't want to put them in public school. Because all public school do is feed your children lies. And you grow up to be a fucking bot, retarded bot. And that's what's happened to our people, okay? So, yes, I'm done. I'm not playing no games, and I'm not sugarcoating shit. So, I'm done ranting. I'll come back on here later, maybe. I don't know. But now I gotta do some editing, and I'm finna share this fucking stream. Y'all have a good day.